this is actually going to be a short series I'm going to actually do on this. I'm going to have to read the first part, but my friends and I are doing a modern game and developing it out, and I decided that it'd be kind of fun, since I'm starting to try to do more vlogging and such, to take it and place it down on the internet for you to, well, be a little creeped out, because frankly, it's one of those games. I'm going to have to, again, like I said, I'm going to have to read the first part, because it's basically the backstory of the character as such, and I did it all in story, so I don't have it all memorized. I could tell you the entire backstory of the character, but it's not as fun as the story form, so I'm going to read the first ones, and then later on the other ones will just be me retelling the story of what is happening to our protagonist. It might end up being an antagonist, but so far he is our protagonist. His name is Cinnidhean, and basically you'll be able to tell these updates because I'll probably just JMC them and such as that, so you'll be able to have them repeatedly coming out for you. Again, I'm going to have to read this first one, so excuse me a little bit. I'm a much better orator than I am a reader, and so I'm much better at, this talking part than I am at the reading and conveying straight from that. It's also really hard because, as you can tell, the room is all dark, because I'm trying to create this misty feel of darkness and infertility and such. And so, without much further ado, here is the story of Joseph May Cinnidhean. Sighing, he laid the book gently down next to the archaic laptop, trying to rub the sleep from his eyes. Rubbing the 5-day growth of facial hair, the man focused on getting his sleep-deprived brain moving again. A name crawls from the deep of his memory, and he slides his chair over to his shelf. Lifting up another worn book, he begins to read again. There's nothing sicker in society than a lack of liquor and sobriety. The man in the chair acted as if shocked by electricity, the book falling from jumping fingers. Samuel, you scared the hell out of me. The man in the chair twirled around to face his older companion. See, that's the problem. You don't have enough hell in you to scare out. Samuel smiled, his young face betraying the 20-year head start he had on his companion in the chair. Why don't we fix that? Come on, Seth. Why don't you come with me? There's this party down at the Abbey. That's sure to put some hell back in you. I can't. The deadline is coming up, and if I don't finish this dissertation, we lose that grant. And Jameson is biting at your position again, isn't he? Samuel's face at once showed its age. For a second, as he looked down on the younger man, I really think you need this break. I have some friends who can help you with Jameson and his cousin, the senator. No, I made a promise when I took this position that I would hold it on my own. Jameson's harmless. He's just upset that a man less than half his age is getting grants he never could. Samuel patted the shoulder of his young friend before leaving. That's your problem, Professor. Even the Lord relies sometimes on the works of the devil. Finch him. Seth swirled the contents of his glass, staring at the murky brown amongst the ice. This bar was a local haunt of the college students, and he kept telling himself that he didn't know why he kept coming here. He swirled his empty bourbon angrily, then set it down with a sigh. He knew why he was here. He was lonely. Teaching girls his own age was taking a toll on his private life. The statement, "You can look, but you can't touch," never rang more true than in a 28-year-old professor. Staring angrily at his empty drink, Seth gave a slight start as another drink was set before him. Looking up from his glass into the face of a very attractive girl. She smiled down at him before sliding into the booth couch next to him. No one should drink alone. She spoke in a way of greeting. Her voice was that low, sultry voice that prevailed in male fantasies. The effect it had on Seth's ivory tower was very, very easy to see. Scene change. 3 days later. 3 days later. I'm sitting on a bed. Bloody axe in my hand. A dead woman on the floor. I have memories of fear and pain. I know I killed her, but I think there was a reason. I remember her teeth and this god-awful look. Damn, it's 3 days later. I have classes I need to teach. I know about this. I killed a woman. I wrap her body in a plastic bag and drag her off. And then thinking to myself, I need time, I need to stop, I need to think. Alright. I'm in the garage. There's my car there. It's a small 2-seater. Electric. I get in. I need to teach. I have a class in an hour. I begin driving through the traffic. It's somewhat messy at this time of day. Everyone tries to go early, to dodge the rush, and of course, since everyone else is thinking they need to dodge the rush, they cause the rush to happen earlier. After about a 45-minute drive, I pull into the teacher's parking lot and place my faculty on the window. Stepping out of the car, I grab my briefcase and hug it to my chest, breathing to myself, I'm fine. And then going in, I explain my absence to the department head, why I wasn't here the last few days. It seems I called in sometime during the last 3 days and mentioned that I wasn't feeling well. They could see that I'm very pale. And it doesn't seem that I'm just pale from fright. I also feel tired and slightly bloodless. I shake my head and begin to teach class. The students are already filed into the room by the time I reach it. I'm still basically on time, but I'm nowhere near as early as I usually am. The extra facial hair, they notice as well. It's not just fuzzy growth or the clean shaven I usually am, but it's an actual, mayhap 5 days of good growth. I come in, slightly disheveled, open my briefcase, and begin our discussion on 12th century Japan, continuing on talking about various things. From the back of the room, I hear a noise, a slight whisper, almost as if it's not really there. They know. It unnerves me. The time clock moves so much slower than it should. I know hours have passed by now. They should have. I feel them. My bones. It seems now that I'm the old one and Samuel's the young one. Finally. I dismiss the class. Time's up. Discussion's over to this time. I want your papers by Friday. Continue your work, reading. These are the books you need to continue. Fold up my papers, and I hurriedly try to leave. One of the students follows me. There's a small voice following around as well. You know, you know. He asks me if I'm feeling alright. I dodge the question. They're just talking about, oh yes, everything's fine, everything's fine. He asks if he might be able to get together to, I need to help him, if he needs help with one of his projects. And I tell him, it's like office hours, I'll be there for office hours. I'm going home today early, instead of doing it office hours now. I'll be able to see you later. As I begin to walk to my car, an idea that's been knocking at the back of my head begins to chew on me more, as a voice whispers somewhere, he knows what you did. He's following you, he knows what you did. I look behind me and sure enough, there he is, acting very peculiar as he stares at me while trying to hide in a gaggle of children. It's Wednesday, so there's quite a few on campus. But we continue down. The idea that's been nagging at me, was it human? Was it real? Did it exist? What? Why? What caused me to kill that woman? I remember she wasn't. There was something off. Something very, very off. Enough that caused fear. What? She's not human. What is she? I began to think of how various others have dissected found species to discover what they are. So I decide to head off to a floor, like a supply store, building supplies for like scalpels, knives, such as that. I find out I'm talking out loud to myself and shake myself, lifting my binder once more to my chest, and then kind of skip running the rest of the way to my car. I then get into it, start it, and drive my way, noticing a Home Depot on the left. I decide to turn in and look for scalpels, maybe some bituthane to stop the blood from leaping in. I'm also probably going to need a saw and some T-pins, to pull the flesh aside, because there has to be something in her, something bodily that showed my fear, why I thought she wasn't human. His voice repeatedly tells me that he's following me, he's behind me. I turn around, sure enough, there he is. Drive the car faster. Drive it. I lose him after a while. No way he could have followed me. My phone rings. It's an unknown number. Pull it out and answer it. Hello? Hello, Professor Seth. It's the boy. The one that's been following me. I go, yes, can I help you? He's like, is now a good time to call? And I'm like, continue. He's like, I need help with that paper that we were working on. He's clearly starting to push. He's like, can we meet some early, now, or he knows, whispers in the back of my head, as well as common sense. Why is he calling me at these hours after we already talked minutes before? Something's up. I stole him. He stoles me. After a while, I get him to humming, lifting the phone up out there so I can hear him. But he and I began to look again for the scalpels or the X-Acto knives. I believe, yes, X-Acto knives, they'll work just fine. And then I find the X-Acto knives, but I can't find the damn T-pins or the bituthane. You think they'd have bituthane in a very clear area in Home Depot. Hello, this is Home Depot, there's the bituthane. After a while, he sputters a little bit more, stalling for time, it seems, then hangs up. I decide to go look for someone to help me find it.